All right, who copped a feel?
Gail, it was me.
Oh my God.
It was an accident, Gail. I only touched the top of the breast. It was so tender and juicy.
Shut up!
Kamen America is back and proving that you can make great comics with pretty women. Mark Pellegrini and Tim Lim continue to show how much fun comics can be. It's refreshing to read a comic written in English and not be preached to every 5 pages or have deliberately ugly characters or random self-inserts. Actually, it's just nice to have characters you can actually like. That's what Kamen America has been from the beginning. A story about a lady you actually like and want to like. And Mark and Tim have nailed this so well that it's shocking they don't have major publishers begging for a crumb of Kamen America. This is exactly the kind of comic the industry needs. Laugh out loud funny, action-packed, sexy, and full of relatable, lovable characters. If you couldn't tell I was a fan, well, I am. I love these books, and the whole universe they've created. They took this parody of Trump and spun it off into something else entirely, and I'm happy to see them succeed. And they've upped their game, not just with the story and art, but also with getting the books to you. The books are complete before they hit Kickstarter. They ship and arrive in a timely fashion, even with all the shipping delays, and they look really damn cool. The previous versions had these reflective covers, but now they're hardcovers, and the trade dressing matches with each book so you know which order to read them in. It's so cool, I bought the first and second issues again in hardcover just so I could have a matching set. Both Mark and Tim have improved over the years. Mark's writing is witty and clever. He sneaks in little gems and in-jokes from manga, anime, and movies, and he has a great sense of the characters' personalities, goals, and flaws. You get the sense that if he had to write a story about any of the characters in the comic, he could do it. No one talks the same, no one reacts the same, everyone is unique, and they come across with their own subtlety. A great example of this is the Vermilion Masquerade reveal where we find out her true identity. It's done very well. There's enough there to kind of guess who it is before it happens, but you're never quite sure. Although if you looked at the previous issues, you can see these little hints hidden everywhere. Tim Lim's art keeps getting better. How this man is able to draw this many comics a year and work a day job, I don't know. Well, that's a lot. He's Asian. That's half the explanation right there. But he's also drawing his ass off, and he keeps getting better with every issue, not just with the line art, but also with the coloring. I don't know if he's enjoying drawing this as much as he looks like in the book, but I hope he is, because there's not a bad drawing to be found. As for his story, it picks up after the events from the previous issue. It starts with a flashback to Carly in high school getting dissed yet again by cool kid Sylvia. I like the way that this plays out because in the previous volume, Sylvia comes off as a snobbish douche. But now we see that she is a snob, but she thinks she's being kind. It's a nice little character moment to show that she's maybe not the villain we initially think she is. But she is an insufferable twat, and takes every moment to make another backhanded compliment to Carly. We also get to see how Carly meets Nero Lansky, her former agent. He too is an insufferable selfish twat, and he basically stays that way. Hey, it happens. Just look at Sir Blocks-a-Lot. Anyway, we flash forward to the Common Corps showing off at a fair where they're pimping out some ramen that unfortunately turns people into insectoid infantry stab beetles. Our lovely villain Vermilion Masquerade shows up, and we're right into a hilarious action scene as Kamen Ramen tries a combo technique with Kamen Comet that doesn't work because water and fire don't mix. I love that she just doesn't remember this but tries it anyway. And then we get Diversity Defender Kamen UN. That's in the book. It's not me making a joke. It's in the book, aka Little Miss Sylvia, here to wreck the day. She comes in at the last moment to soak up the attention after the real heroes do all the work. Diversity Defender. This is why I love this series so much, just taking all the piss out of everybody. We get a little moment to see Lansky scheming with Sylvia and treating her like trash, much like he did with Carly. The Common Core goes home, and we get this wonderful scene with Kimiko playing with the chime, driving Misha nuts. Carly then talks to Vicky, the resident science girl, who's figured out some things about the mud from the previous story that was used by Vermilion Masquerade. But unfortunately, Carly already knows this info because she's given some to another scientist from Area 51. Vicky doesn't take it very well, and I really like how Tim drew this scene because you get these expression changes that let you know exactly what's happening without having to read the dialogue. It's acting. And it's great to see it again in an American comic. Carly is oblivious to how much this bothers Vicky, and it's a nice reversal of how Sylvia treats Carly. They both think they're doing nice things, and Carly is definitely nicer about it, but they don't see how it affects the other person. Character development. We missed you. Meanwhile, Misha and Sigurd get attacked at his gun shop, and it's a setup for a later set piece in the book. In the previous scene, Kimiko mentioned that they all have a 3-hour limit on their powers, and in this scene we see Misha's fire-based henshin get blocked by the sprinkler system. Keep that in mind. There's a quick fight with Kamen Ramen at another location, and then we're on to an interview with Kamen America where she gets grilled by an interviewer who knows all about Carly's rivalry with Sylvia because she's actually Vermilion Masquerade. There's another insectoid attack and Kamen Yuen shows up, but instead of the pair fighting villains, they start sniping at each other, bickering with each other over who's helped more people and who's donated more time and money, and it all comes down to one thing: you're not better than me. And then they realize that they don't really have any reason to hate each other. They've just hated each other for so long that they just keep doing it. But before they can really make up, Vermilion snaps away Sylvia's suit, revealing that she's been smiling in Lansky's face all the time trying to take his place. This is why you never trust villains, especially pretty villains. After the fight, Carly invites Sylvia back to her place and decides to take her to see the scientists at Area 51 because the armor Sylvia wore might be super radioactive. We get another moment of Vicky being touchy about her place in the group, and we get another quick mention about those time limits, since the ladies plan on staying changed for a while. At Area 51, we get info about the Chimeratons that give the Kamen Corps their powers, and it seems like Sylvia was exposed to a low level of them, which allows her to control the armor, although it took some time. The scientists have been building their own version of the armor since Lansky wouldn't tell them how his worked. As the doc gets ready to reveal some important info, there's another attack, and the Corps goes out to battle and seems to get the upper hand until they hit their time limit. So now they gotta hide. Sylvia shows up to help, but with one request. She wants Carly's mask. Carly's like, why? And Sylvia's like, just trust me. So she goes out decked in new armor, but with the mask on, everyone thinks she's Carly. We get this moment with Carly where she seems somewhat hurt by Sylvia getting all the praise because she's soaking up all that glory, or so you think. When Sylvia comes back to the team, she hands the mask back to Carly, and she says, and all you race benders and gender swappers need to listen carefully. She says, quote, Kamen America isn't a costume that anyone can put on and claim as a mantle. It isn't a legacy. It's you. You are who everyone is cheering for right now. Every good deed you've done has brought you to this point. Kamen America is Carly Vanders, and only you will ever be Kamen America. Mark ain't just in their ass, he's in their psyche. Thank you. Thank you for saying what needed to be said. What makes this superhero special, what makes every superhero special, is that character. This is why you can't just swap characters out. That name means something because of the character behind the mask, not the mask itself. So great to see someone say that in a comic book and own it. Thank you. So after that great moment, Vermilion Masquerade breaks in and the Corps is screwed because they're at their limit. They need their element to charge back up their powers, but unfortunately there's no fire, electricity, or water anywhere near them. But there is beer. So Kamen Ramen chugs away and gets enough water in their system for one highly intoxicated water blast. You know, if she just waited 10 minutes, she could use the water from her You know what? Never mind. The blast is powerful enough to unmask Vermilion Masquerade, and it's quite the shock to see who she really is. The book wraps up with an epilogue setting up the next part, which will be in Black Ops and Kamen America. It's a great cliffhanger, great story, great art, super fun, just everything we're missing right now for mainstream comics, and it's all in one package. You can pick up this book and all the previous ones on iconiccomics.com, and the follow-up is currently available for a short time only on Indiegogo. I'll link to them down below. You need this series in your life. It's all the stuff you've been waiting to see without any of the ego, the pettiness, the unbelievable lack of talent, and the poor social skills. Kamen America is what comics are supposed to be, fun and engaging. You need this book, so go buy it. Get it, read it, breathe it. If you don't enjoy it, you didn't open the book. But what do I know? I'm just some guy.